See, now this is why you have to pay attention before throwing anything into your cart. Hey fam, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be doing our news, comments, and report. Why? Because today is Saturday, and that is what we use Saturday video for. So you guys, this is Shauna, and I'm officially checking in over here in New Jersey at Moments with Us. Hopefully you all can check in when you guys are writing comments. Let us know where you are checking in from, so when we share, we can let our viewers know what state there was a shortage or some information it is that you want to share. Let's go ahead and start today's video. Happy Labor Day weekend. Hopefully you all are doing well. If you are out and you are celebrating last minute before school shopping, you all just be safe out there. And I know usually Labor Day weekend, they be having some sales in the grocery stores. So if you can grab a few extras, that would be great for you as well. And fam, if you're new here and you like these kind of videos, this is a great time to go ahead and subscribe. And if you've been here before and you coming back for another report, thank you so much for coming back. Let's get today's video started. So this person was actually quite upset to see this 10-pound bag of potatoes to be rotten at the bottom. Almost coming in at $14 for this bag of potatoes. And honestly, I do stress this when you are shopping produce, especially at Walmart, and you notice that some of the items look a little bit wet, check those bags, because it can be spoiling and going bad, and you would take it home even if it doesn't look like this. By the time you get it home, trust me, that item most likely would have been going bad already. So gladly that person there did check. While I have been hearing that some shelves are looking a bit better, here are some other things to actually think about. So someone did say, not food related, but kind of scary. I've been out of the sensors for my continuous glucose monitor for 3 weeks now. And Metrodonic doesn't know when they will have more in stock. They're blaming, I don't wake up at night when my blood sugar goes low. I could die without them. I used to have a medical alert dog to wake me up, but it would take a while to train another. So here's an issue. We got to think about things further, like medical supplies. If you're a person who use any type of medical device to help you with your daily living life, and that falls short or parts become unavailable, that is a huge problem. Where are the parts coming from? Are we cut off from where they make these parts, for instance? So if there's a way to make sure your equipment is actually up to date, or if you can have an extra of whatever it is that you or your loved one need on hand, I highly suggest it, because you or someone you know could be facing the same issue that this person is actually having. So just, to double check, even if you have a running list added onto your list, to make sure that your medical supply is actually up to date. Call a manufacturer to make sure that maybe there's a part that you need, fixed on your machine that you've probably been, bandaging up, or maybe you're due for a new machine or medical equipment. Just make sure that they don't have any delays or anything, just so that you or your loved one can be good. This way you have a better chance to prepare now, rather than boom, there was an unforeseen problem with the manufacturer getting their own supplies. For a second, I want to thank all of you who decided to come in and check in. Thank you, cuz, from down south, from checking in from Texas. Happy grandma for Ruth P. Look at that member star, you guys. Thank you so much for always coming through and checking in from Cincinnati. She always letting us know that she is stocking up, staying ahead of the game. Jacqueline checking in from the Bronx, New York. So much theft at my local Dollar Tree, and it's such a shame, she said. There's so much theft everywhere, but in a store like Dollar Tree where things are $1.25, I can see how this would end up, you guys. Thank you so much, Jacqueline, for checking in as well. And Christina also checking in from Eugene, Oregon. You guys, theft is a big problem, she states. But as prices continue to go up and families have a hard time to afford items, theft would become worse, especially in places where theft is already a big problem. It's crazy, right? But yes, thank you so much for checking in. Let's go ahead and continue. There's so many more of you that is always checking in, and we'll go ahead and catch you guys on the next video as well. So Candy did come through to share that she's been trying to get a big pack of bottled water from Walmart for the past 2 weeks, and they never had an issue with ordering a few packs per month. But it's been out of stock since. You guys, when checking in and letting us know something, please leave the state so we know where and we can have a running list. But yes, Candy, I definitely know what you mean, because over here in New Jersey, the 40 pack of the Great Value water have been an issue a few months, well, not even a few months ago, maybe about a month ago, where it was just completely emptied out. But a few months ago, when we was having the same issue, by the time they got the water back on the shelf, they done rose the price up to almost $6 a case for the 40 pack. And that was coming from I think like 380 something. So when you guys do get that water back in stock, assuming that you are talking about the Great Value 40 pack, it probably would come with that higher price mark. So definitely, guys, water is an everyday necessity for us to keep on moving, right? So make sure that you always have extra water on hand. And if push comes to shove and you are using your tap water, you should always be filtering that tap water. Unless it's coming straight from Alaska, like Big Man Alaska saying they got that fresh water. But yes, having water, just do what's best for you and your family. And having that filtered water on hand, bottled water, gallons of water, or jugs of water on backup. Thank you so much for sharing that in the comments. All right, and before we jump into any news and reports, Susan checking in from California. Thank you so much for checking in. So she's just stating that vinegar is always something that they stock by the gallon. It has so many uses, which we all can agree. I use it as a produce wash. It removes any chemical residue off any produce, you guys. I also make homemade all-purpose antibacterial cleaner by the gallon. It's also good for anything with hard water buildup. For those of you who did not know, that was a little FYI. Thank you so much for sharing that in the comments. As vinegar do become more pricier on those shelves, that is something that you should be stocking up on. All right, let's get in on some of these reports. Though this was back in March, this is something that everyone should be paying attention to. All Walmart stores did close over in Portland, Oregon, you guys, due to high theft and other things that they're saying. We know that Walmart, for the most part, is affordable. It's a place to go to with very affordable prices. At least for me and a lot of other people. Some people can disagree, though. But for a lot of people, it's one of the places that you go to, and they have practically dominated a lot of areas, and then boom, they shut down. But like I said, it is affordable. But this is an issue here. Here's what's going on, or what have already happened. Well, here's their statement of why all of the Portland, Oregon Walmarts have closed. So it says, while some outlets have speculated that shoplifting losses were a factor in the decision, Walmart has pushed back against that, saying in a statement, we consider many factors, including current and projected financial performance, location, population, customer needs, and the proximity of other nearby stores when making these difficult decisions. After we decide to move forward, our focus is on our associates and their transition, which is the case here. While I can say there's a lot of shoplifting going on in a lot of different parts of the world, the issue here is I believe that they had like 500 and something employees or something like that. Then they was left without a job. And with all of those Walmarts closing just like that, these people lost their job. There was nothing else put in place for them. It was either go to the next store, and things like travel and fare did come up And it was a huge problem because then what? If you take away all of the Walmarts, that's less jobs for the community and less places for people to shop that's affordable for the people, which then would cause more people to steal because they can't afford things now that the affordable place such as Walmart have been shut down. So that will cause major issues, and that's my point of view when it comes down to that. That's crazy. That's why when it comes down to places like this, Walmart, and you are finding things that is still affordable versus, our regular supermarkets where sales are not really sales anymore. You should definitely be getting what you can while you can, if you can. So in other news, water in North Carolina in over 20 counties is contaminated with that what? Forever chemical, you guys. Water filtration is key alongside with actual stocking up on water. You just never know. And I can imagine how much of our water is actually contaminated with all of the disasters that's actually going on, to not think that it will affect the water supply. Yeah. You guys, get on top of your water filtration game. Please do. Do your research. Do your research. Do your research. Don't just take it from me. Do your own research because that is what's best. In other news, as a precaution, Lionsgate Studio will implement for their employees to wear a mask. Me, I don't think that wearing a mask, it's not any problem at all. Of course, if you want to wear a mask. Wearing a mask with the proper training, of course, is very beneficial for those who are sick. I will always say, if you have any type of immune disease or any immune issues, of course, you already have been wearing a mask long beforehand. And it's a common practice, like in China and other countries, that if they catch as little as a cold, they already have been wearing masks. This is how it's been operating since way before the whole pandemic. So, it's nothing new. It's about what's to follow after. The mask, that ain't nothing, But it's about what's to follow after this. How many people can they get to say, yes, I will wear a mask, versus people that saying, oh, no, I will not comply. It goes further than to say, yes, I will wear a mask because you say so, versus I'm already wearing a mask because it's crucial for my health. You know what y'all get what I'm saying? So yeah, they went ahead and reinstated their mask mandate. So let's go ahead in other news. And in this clip that I'm going to show you guys, this goes further on, way further on than bioengineered food. This is actually handmade food. You guys, take a look at this video here. Yep, just pour the liquid on top of this water thing and roll it out. You know what, in all honesty, this is very interesting. I mean, very, very, very interesting. Roll it up into a ball of lettuce. Yes, that is lettuce. Go on with the second layer there. Do it in a little swirl and roll it right on top of the next layer. Guess what? Cut it in half, and what do we have? A head of lettuce. This is fake food, but it is something that's real, that's definitely happening. How many of you actually knew about this already? Let us know in the comments down below. So you guys, I remember years ago, back when I believe I was in middle school or high school, one of my teachers, Mr. Brandon, I could never forget, he was telling us about weather control, and it was a history teacher at that. He was telling us about weather control and how things are being done. I don't know if this man was from I don't know where this man was from, but he used to tell us little things, and we'll be like, for real, as a kid, you really don't, really take a lot of things into consideration. But as I grew older and I start seeing things for what it is, I'm like, wow, this man really made sense. And, you start to appreciate, things that adults then did tell us. So let me roll this clip, because this actually makes sense to what that teacher was actually talking about
climate change yesterday. And now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did not get into this discussion, though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really, to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong. Governments have been playing with this thing.
Alleged to.
Alleged to, right.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're bringing in the laws of physics rather than simply waving our hands and uttering mumbo jumbo. We're actually using trillion-watt lasers now. And in the laboratory, sure enough, they precipitate rain out of water vapor. Sure enough, you can actually bring down electricity down the beam.
So what does it mean for drought areas that need to have rain for crops? And if they don't have them, there's the consequences of famine.
Well, the bad news is if it's a clear blue sky, it's not going to do anything at all because it only takes water vapor that's already in the air and condenses it. However, for floods, for agriculture, farmers, for people planning wedding parties, football games, you name it, outdoor events and agriculture and flooding and even hurricanes, all of them could be subject to weather modification.
Incredibly interesting, Professor Michio Kaku. Thank you so much.
Hurricanes, flooding. Let's talk about these wildfires too, huh? You guys, I'm gonna leave that right there where it's at. I don't have too much to say on that just because the video do speak for itself. And think about it, that was 9 years ago, you guys. 9 years ago. Everything he said speak for itself with the current events that's actually happening. Though there are some natural disasters, the things that been going on is not natural. And I'm going to continue to pray for the families that was lost in these events that's been happening. You know, the worst in history. That's what I've been reading. The worst in history for the past year. And it's ridiculous. And these people they're evil, you guys. We're going to continue to prep. We're going to continue to pray. And we're going to continue to do exactly what we have to do. Until next video, like I said, I'm leaving that right there where it's at. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my Saturday. Hopefully you all are enjoying this Labor Day weekend as well. This is Shauna, and I'm officially checking out from Moments with Us. If you enjoyed today's video and you have not subscribed by now is even a more better chance to subscribe because I know you stayed all the way down to the end. Drop your favorite emoji down in the comment. If you don't have one, just check in and let us know where you are watching from. You guys stay prepped, blessed, and safe. Most of all, remain beautiful queens and kings. This is Shauna, and I'm up out of here, y'all. Peace.